Cool, so we've got shorts here. What's important to you in a pair of shorts, Brad? What are we looking at?
Well, I mean, shorts have come kit in general have come such a long way, not just in the last 10 years, but certainly 20 years since we were juniors. You know, the fit, you spend a lot of time in shorts. When you think you maybe put a pair of shorts on sometimes an hour and a half, 2 hours before a race, if you're getting in a car to travel. After a race, if you've won and you have to go to a podium and control and all this sort of stuff, putting your bike away if you're just a national rider, etc., etc. You know, you spend 8-9 hours in. You know, as there's a famous saying, oh, you're doing some chamois time if you've got them on early. You know, if you get your shorts on early enough. So, you know, you probably spend it's the one piece that you spend the most amount of time in. The area that they cover, as you know, is just as important, and obviously always draws a smile to people's faces. But the reality of it is, you know, seams in the wrong place, things like that cause chafing. If they're not washed properly, you know, when I was still racing, I know Sky's different now that they have a washing machine for each rider, but at the end of each stage, all your washing goes in with people's socks, 9 pairs of shorts, 9 pairs of socks, a mechanic's pair of pants that he wants washing, sweaty gloves, sweaty undervests, etc., etc., all in the same drum. And the bacteria that's in there, you know, it doesn't get washed out if it's not washed hot enough.
Yeah.
You get infected if you've got a cut already, etc., etc., etc. So, you know, I think it's the one item that has had to develop and it was in need of being kind of advanced and things, and as you know, because you made them. So
I think we have benefited from the ability to use new materials, new chamois that are obviously not like the original name chamois used to be, which got hard and crusty when it dried, and you know, you needed to sort of oil it down and make sure that it was soft and supple, and obviously that isn't a problem now, that isn't a consideration. Equally, seam shapes, even the thread that you use for the edges goes just over the edge to create, make sure there's no lip, and then it's a softer thread than the rest of the thread that's holding the shorts together, and then like you say, even bib straps coming down a certain level to make sure that it's easy. These are all things that have been honed and honed and honed over the years and years and years, and something that I thought back to when I first started cycling, and I was kind of joking that you don't wear pants under your shorts, or you're not supposed to. And I do remember a time, I was probably about 14 when someone told me off and said, you're not supposed to do that. And it was a bit of a surprise. I feel funny talking about it now because obviously we're so far beyond that. But obviously that's going to create a very uncomfortable layer, extra layer, which you don't need between obviously sensitive area anyway, and then a properly designed chamois which we've got here, that clearly keeps you as soft and as comfortable as you can possibly manage. I was going to talk a little bit between the difference between price points and then thickness of chamois, because there is definitely a difference between the most luxurious sort of thick chamois, which I think that orange one is, and then something a bit more like this one. And for those people that cycle a lot and have developed a tough undercarriage, if you like, you can get away with a slightly thinner chamois. For those guys and girls who can do a 90-mile or 100-mile ride but just don't have the time to go and do it regularly, which means they don't have the toughness, which naturally means after halfway of a long ride you are getting a bit more sensitive, and so adding a bit more depth to the chamois, to the pad, just helps keep you that little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, I think it depends what saddle you're using, etc.
I think you do get value for money though, so I think anyone thinking about actually investing into one item, I think shorts is the safest area to say it'll be worth the money.
In terms of longevity and maybe be able to use a pair of shorts in 5, 6, 7 years time, these are the technology people don't really see unless you really talk about them or tell people what they're buying.
Yeah, and also informing people why there's a difference between, you know, a £50 pair of shorts and a £150 pair of shorts. Well, these are the things, after 3 years, it still looks, it still feels, and it still fits as it should. You're not having to invest in a new pair. And
because there's nothing worse than a bloke coming in a cafe with a pair of shorts that are 20 years old.
And you can see through because
he's looked like he's got 2 pigeons in his chamois, you know, when it's hanging
down. You can also see
here,
through the back, and you know, you don't want to see that.
They're just out of shape, and you know, so it's like, come on, get on Wiggins and buy a new pair of shorts.